So I would also like to express my thanks for being invited to be a part of today. I actually, early on in maybe it was just after my PhD, I won an ATSE award, student award. So it's nice to come back and give something back to the organisation that encouraged me to keep going with science in the early days. So thank you for that. I think I've also been incredibly stimulated by what I've heard yesterday, and I think it's given us nutrition researchers a lot of food for thought, because I still think that what we're seeing is a very big divide between food and agriculture and the role that it plays in nutrition. And I think what I would like to propose in this session and discuss further is the very, very, very strong need for a deeper link between food and nutrition and human health, and to move from thinking about food production in a commodity sense about maximising productivity. That's all incredibly important, but the purpose of that is to feed an enormous population that is growing and is ageing and is going to be developing quite specific needs. So I feel like that's one of the big challenges that we have coming up, is to link food and nutrition more closely. I guess the other is to then start thinking more in a more refined way about what it is about the growing population that we're going to need to address. And so obviously as we have a middle class that's growing, we have a rise in obesity, and with that comes what most call a tsunami of diabetes, and that is a very real problem in the next 15 years that we will absolutely need to address. In a different segment of the population, we have the ageing people who have unique nutritional needs, and I think that maybe is where the non-animal sources of protein are going to become important. 3D printed chicken that looks like chicken but is insects perhaps. So I think there's a lot of innovation that can happen in this space between food and nutrition production, food production and nutrition. I guess the other point that I wanted to make in terms of the growing population is, and their food needs, is how food production deals with waste, and whether that is something that farmers can see as a value-added proposition that they can get involved in, or whether it sets up a whole new business strategy for outsiders to come in and utilise that waste, because I think we're not going to be in a position to be able to afford to waste even small amounts of protein and energy. So they're some of the main reasons, main things that I'd like to discuss today.